And we are back. Thanks for staying with us. And welcome, Mary.
Thank you very much.
So this morning, we sort of caught up on something quite interesting. Well, this is being practiced or is happening currently in some parts of Nigeria. But the focus here is in Iraq. So the story said that the age of consent now for children to get married has, you know...
No, they're passing a
bill, proposing a bill, could become a thing. So the age of consent in Iraq used to be 18, but now it's been reduced to 9 years.
They're proposing it's be reduced to 9 years.
Yes,
There's
and
more actually.
yeah. So please carry on the story, because
So
you
apart
guys have
from
all
that,
the details.
the proposed legal age would allow men to marry children and seeks to, in quotes now, protect girls from, in quotes again, immoral relationships.
So instead of them getting involved in immoral relationships,
yes, they should get married, even at 9 years old.
Okay.
Now, it would
Then
also...
it permits child abuse.
Yeah. It would also remove women's rights to divorce, child custody, and inheritance. So women will no longer be able to, get divorced. They will no longer have custody of their children, and they would also no longer have rights to inheritance. And it begs the question, in this time and age, wow, this is still the focus. I mean, it's a very delicate subject, because when you look at it, there's the religious aspect of it as well. But even at that, I would rather focus on the fact that this is a country choosing to pass this bill. And I'm wondering what informs it.
Yeah,
really, what informs it?
So that's the thing. I'm not even sure what angle to even start coming from, right? I feel for me it's just whoever proposed this, or if I even thought about it, I mean, they thought they were doing a good thing. Just remember, so it actually took my mind back to the times where in some parts of even Nigeria, female gender mutilation was literally a thing, right?
Yeah.
And that was because people said, oh, by the time they do that, it will stop girls from immoral
activities,
exactly, before they get to that point of marriage. So the same thing is happening here. So they're claiming girls as young as 9 literally go into immoral relationships. So because of that, allow them to marry quick so that that won't happen. But then again, is that meant to be the focus now? Is the focus not meant to be on the adults trying to take advantage of the young girl? Because at 9, are you really, really in a position to give consent by law? No, that's why the age is being reduced. Now, let's talk about from the child abuse angle. Now, normally, this is a crime. It is literally a crime. And then when you further look at the fact of taking women's rights of divorce, child custody and inheritance away, it now shows you that it's beyond the supposed hidden reason, or rather put forward reason, and it just shows that it's just at a point, it's just literally like putting things in to literally just keep on further putting the female gender in danger.
Yes,
like endangered.
Because to be honest,
them like endangered species.
Well, I mean, this is being proposed, right? I'm waiting to see what the UN's, involvement on this matter if they would come in, because it's the UN's, it's within their constitution, the UN's constitution, to protect the rights of children all over the world.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that maybe over time, or in the course of them proposing this bill, the UN would come in.
Yeah.
Also, this further strips the woman or the girl child of every rights of freedom and to express themselves, even as human beings. So I'm really hoping that I wouldn't want to discuss further, because, I mean, we also know that there's a Sharia law and there's a Sharia law that sort of protects, some of these laws and bills from being passed, especially when it comes to women and girls.
Yes.
Yeah, and we've seen this span out across, different parts, even in Nigeria here, or in different parts of the world. So I'm hoping that the UN would wade in at some point and, address this issue accordingly, because it is in their right to protect the rights of a girl child.
So one thing life has taught me is what people are exposed to informs their decisions and choices. There are people who become cradle snatchers because of, the environment they grew up in. Even when they might not be practicing that religion or even be a part of that area. So what you're exposed to usually influences the person you are. Now, I want us to think back to when we were 9 years old. At 9, was marriage or even getting involved with anybody on your mind? No. Yes, you might have had an odd crush or two, like, okay, this guy is cute, but at that point, the last thing on your mind is even getting intimate or going as far as being married. Even when you, as a girl, you say, this is my husband, it's usually from a place of, you know, humor. Not necessarily that you want to go, do you know what marriage is?
Yeah, so so my point is, so, I mean, okay, I think I actually needed, I wanted to say this initially. So now, there are certain countries, right, and certain countries that practice certain religions really quite strictly, that even foreign organizations have no say, no influence whatsoever, unfortunately, right? And then you now think of the fact that, fine, a child at 9, of course, that decision to get married is not hers. In those places, normally we know the parents are the ones that do the negotiations. Do you understand? And now, let's even talk about puberty now. Right, so once upon a time it was argued, I remember during the whole child not bride protest that literally happened a few years back, and then we had situations like this come up, and then people were literally arguing that, oh, okay, once a girl literally goes into puberty from the age of like 13, as we knew it then now. Like they're going into puberty
at 8, yes,
earlier and all of that. So I'm trying to think of, okay, what's really influenced, because it actually slashed it by half, from 18 to 19, 9, right?
9 rather.
So yeah. So what is the plan? So I mean, as we're advancing, maybe this age will keep on dropping, and then what happened? They'll slash it again. So maybe
if we look at the things that the girls are about to be stripped of, if it gets approved, number one, let's talk about divorce. Now, in Islam, it's okay for a lady to seek divorce. Yeah. She should have a reason. And there are certain things you need to do. It's actually not so complicated. Yeah. So you telling her she cannot leave an abusive husband or an unhappy marriage already has stripped her of a lot.
Yeah. It poses a lot of danger. Stuck. She could die in that relationship.
Exactly. Also in the same religion, a lady who has been divorced has the right to choose her husband. She may not be able to choose the first one, but she can choose her second husband. Exactly. So what this means is that since she cannot divorce,
she can't decide to marry.
She cannot marry somebody that she would rather be with, because now she can't have a divorce. She will be stuck with that person forever. That is one. Yeah. 2, there's the inheritance aspect. Yeah. When a woman doesn't have access to certain benefits, it cramps her ability to exercise certain rights. Yes. So without the finances, of which, remember, in these places, you can't even go out to work or do certain things. Yeah. So there's already that right already being cramped. So it's being clamped. On the one hand, you can't work. On the other hand, you don't even have rights to inheritance at all anymore.
And of course,
so
I
you're
think
completely dependent on men.
But the idea of even child custody
and then it
literally links to the inheritance, because most times the first son or the first child will take most of it, and most times they take care of their parents, right, or their mothers. So when you strip her of all of that, then
you tell her she has no rights to her children, so she would definitely stay. Yeah. She would be even more stuck than ever. It's quite an unfortunate situation.
It is. Then, we course, also need to establish once again that this is a bill that is being passed, or that is about to be passed, or that is being considered in Iraq. Not in Nigeria. But we would like to hear your thoughts. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC when sending in your comments. The show continues in a bit, people. Stay with us.